Hi, welcome to Rick Shiels on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube, and today I'm going to be reviewing the new TaylorMade RBZ Stage 2 driver. Now, I'm going to do a review today that I've not done before in the past. I'm going to talk about the different technology and advances and what TaylorMade say about this golf club. I'm going to tell you what I think about the golf club. I'm going to get Flightscope telling us what results it's getting with real golf balls. I'm going to be hitting real golf balls such as this one, Titleist Callaways. I've got a couple of top flights and stuff like that, but real golf balls. So we are going to be hitting those off a real tee-peg. Now, the TaylorMade RBZ Stage 2 driver, this is a new advance from the old driver, the old RBZ. Obviously the old RBZ was green. The new one has got a new fancy feature on the back. So you can see here on the head it's got this new all singing all dancing top cover. Apparently this is to be making it much easier to align the golf club up now. With this sort of cone shape with the yellow and the grey and the black, it makes it align much easier. A couple of new features also to this driver is that you now can take out of the shaft and put it in at any different angle from 1.5 degrees different to whatever the loft says on the head. So we've got a 9.5 degree loft here, so I can take this down anywhere to 8 degrees all the way up to 11 degrees just by taking the shaft out and putting it into a different position. The shaft that I'm going to be using in the driver today, this is the Rocket Fuel. This is the Fujikura shaft. It's 50 grams and it's in stiff flex, so pretty standard really. And this there are other options with the shaft. I'm just looking on the website at the moment. There are different ones, there are different custom options. My bit of advice for you would be just to test a few shafts, see how they work for you, see what good results you get either on Flightscope, TrackMan, and get custom fit for it really. It has got the 460cc head. They've stuck with the white design on the top of the head for the main reason, obviously, that TaylorMade are staying with the white colour. We've seen Ping go to the full black and we've seen Nike now go to the red head. So I'm guessing they're sticking with their traditional white, well not traditional, their new white looking head. Another few little advantage on it, apparently it's more streamlined and slick. So apparently the aerodynamics on it come through the golf ball a lot better. And it doesn't drag as much when you come in to hit the shot. That's an interesting idea. Looks wise compared to the old one, it looks a little bit better if I'm honest. It looks a little bit more like they've taken a bit of pride and care in the appearance of it. The RBZ in the green headed club did look very nice, but now we seem to have this new yellow and white and black, and it does look very sharp. The other driver that's on offer at the moment is the R1. The TaylorMade R1. I have done a review on that in the past. Now I'm going to do a new one as well, so keep an eye out for that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit 10 real golf ball shots. I'm going to get it on Flightscope, and after the video I'm going to compare the figures and look at them and maybe even compare them to the R1 and see what's good, what's bad, which one are going the longest, which ones are giving you the best ball flight, the best consistency. I'm going to give it a real in-depth review today. And hopefully then you're going to make some decisions whether you feel like this is the golf club for you, whether the golf club that you've got in the past is for you, or whether you're looking for a new one, either the R1 or a different manufacturer. So like I say, we are now going to be hitting some shots. I'm going to hit about 10 shots for you. I'm not going to bore you letting you just sit there watching each shot, so I'm going to speed this process up a little bit. But I'm going to hit 10 shots for you, and then we'll look at the Flightscope figures. We are in Manchester. It's a little bit windy, it's a little bit breezy, slightly favouring us, I'll be honest, slightly downwind, only a touch, so maybe half a club to 3/4 of a club longer than what we'd normally look for. So if the figures are a bit generous today, that could be partly due to the wind. So I'm going to hit some golf shots for you now, and hopefully I'm going to give you a really nice insight to what this golf club can do. So this is the RBZ Stage 2, TaylorMade's newest driver. First off, when it sits behind the golf club, it looks fantastic. It does, it looks really good in fact. I'm quite shocked of how good it looks. I have already hit a few with this golf club already, so it's not as much a shock when I look down on the golf club anymore. When I first picked it up and hit it, it looked a bit, ooh, I'm not quite sure about this club. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be the right whether it's going to have a large captive audience more than anything, because this may put people off, this may put consumers off, this design on the head. Doesn't really me though. Shaft length feels a bit longer. I'm going to compare it to the R1 actually. I've still got the R1 here. So this is the R1 driver as well. And it is just a fraction longer than the R1 driver. That might just be the shaft options on it. This is, like I said, this is the Fujikura rocket fuel. Okay, let's hit a few shots. Oh, that was nice. Bloody hell, that was really nice. Straight away, the sounds almost exactly the same as the RBZ, the old one. That real sort of burst, that fire, that energy off the club head. I like that. Now that was set at standard loft, so the standard loft of that was 9.5, and it had a very nice ball flight to it. It seemed to fly, it seemed to stay up in the air. I mean, you can tweak this. This is the advantage of this new one, that you can take the shaft out. You get a little gizmo, you get a little toy, a little wrench, you can take it out, slip the shaft out, and it just has a series of different options on the neck there that you can change and put in back at a different angle. Technology these days, eh? So I'm going to hit another one for you now. That is really nice. Seriously, that is really nice. It feels great. It feels like a solid golf club. I always wondered when these new drivers would come along and started to take the shafts out. So I've got Callaway golf ball this time. When they started to take the shafts out and put them back in again, whether you'd still feel as solid as the manufacturers used to glue them in and fasten them in, but as soon as you fasten it in, give it a click and it's in, and you don't feel any difference really. I'm going to give it one more hit. Well, I'm going to hit a few more, but one more hit on the camera here anyway. That is really nice. I wouldn't change that loft for me. That loft setting at 9.5 is what I normally use anyway with my i15, but 9.5 is a great loft. It just gives you that different alternative for it really. Now, that felt great. I'm just going to hit the rest of these golf balls to make it up to 10 and then look through the Flightscope figures to see what's good and what's bad about the golf club and see how far it's going more than anything.
Right then guys, if we look at the data here for the TaylorMade RBZ Stage 2 driver, you can see on the screen at the moment, hit some fairly decent shots, some little draws, some little push draws, a couple left, I think they were toey, but decent results, decent golf shots, and fairly happy with the consistency of those shots with the driver. Now if we look at the data here now all together, the average distance down at the bottom, the average distance it was carrying was 267, yet it was rolling out to 280, which I'm happy with, that's fairly decent. Clubhead speed was consistently in the sort of 104, 105 range, so stiff shaft is suited for that. A couple of long shots, shot number 2 in particular 293 and shot number 4 294, so really good distances there out of the driver. And just one last thing to notice is the launch angle. The launch angle there in the sort of 4th or 5th column down, no, 7th column down is 16.2, so that could be a little bit lower. Now that's the advantage of this driver. I could possibly bring that down, the loft angle down to maybe, I don't know, 8 degrees and bring that launch, that vertical launch angle down to something like about 13.5 would be ideal. But fairly happy with the figures there, with the consistency, and I feel like that golf club is going to be a tough one to beat, I must admit. I felt like they were pretty decent golf shots, and hope you've enjoyed seeing the figures here on Flightscope as well. Now, what will be really interesting is seeing those figures against the TaylorMade R1 Driver. That should be up on my channel very soon. If it's not already, it will be very soon, but keep your eyes peeled for that as well. Right, so we've given it some ratings now. Distance-wise, I'm going to give that a 5 out of 5 because that was average longer than my normal driver. Accuracy, a 4 out of 5. There's a couple of sprayed shots. Felt great, 5 out of 5. Now, the recommended retail price for this is $249, so I'm going to rate that 5 out of 5 for cost. Looks-wise, I'm going to drop it down a couple of points to 3 out of 5, only because of this new design on the head. Adjustability, 4 out of 5 because you can take the neck out, change the loft and everything else. So the total score for the TaylorMade RBZ Stage 2 driver is 36 out of 40. I would say its aim is to mid to low handicappers.
Right then guys, so we've looked through the figures and it's fairly long, 280 yards. That's a pretty decent hit really, a pretty decent crack. So that's the TaylorMade RBZ Stage 2. I'm going to compare it to the R1. The figures are up on the screen, or the R1 picture should be here somewhere, so you can click on that link, or the description is down below for the R1 driver as well. That felt great. I must admit that felt really, really solid. Felt better than the old one, I would say it is. I would say it's better than the old one, but we'll have to see in comparison to the drivers as well. So thanks very much for watching, guys. You can check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Please do subscribe to the channel as well down below. I'd love to hear what you're saying. Leave comments, share the video, and thanks for watching.